What's up, runners? I'm Holly from The Run Experience, and we are back for another Workout Wednesday. Today I've got a single leg strength workout for you. I'm going to do the entire thing alongside you. We've got 4 movements. We're going to work on strengthening those legs individually to make our running overall much stronger and longer lasting. So why is single leg strength work important? When we cut our running down to the bits and pieces that make it up all together, we can understand better where things start to fall apart and maybe why we're getting those aches and pains or larger injuries down the road. With single leg work, you can see where your weak spots are very obviously, and in this workout specifically, we'll be able to see where you start to break down endurance-wise. After a few rounds or reps, you'll start to understand where you get tired or where your form starts to fall apart. The stronger these legs can be individually, the longer you will last with good run form on your run workouts. So without further ado, let's get into this workout. So we've got 4 movements we're going to be doing on a loop for this workout. I'm going to go through what they are right now, and then, like I said, I'm doing this whole thing with you guys. The first one is very simple. You're going to find a line on the ground. I'm just going to use this crack in the sidewalk, and you're just going to stand on one leg and jump over back and forth 10 times. So it looks like this. I stand, take this leg off, and then using my arms and my hips, I'm going to jump forward and back over the line just like this. Every time I go over is 1. Switching sides, we go 10 on the other side. Now we're going to a single leg squat. That is going to be just standing on one leg, no more jumps. We're just going to take our hips back. I'll show you this side. Hips back like a normal squat, keeping that knee behind the toe, and we're just going to go down and stand up, pulling that core in nice and tight down, stand up. We want to be aware that we're not dropping the knee over the toe like I said, or leaning so far forward that we're no longer squatting. Single leg squat, 10 on each side. Now we're going to go to a calf raise on each side. You're going to stand on that one leg, and you can use a wall support if you need for this one. It's not as much about balance as it is about working that calf individually. You're going to press up on those toes, back down. I'll take a couple seconds to get my balance here. I'm just rocking up on those toes again. Show you from the side. Up on the toes, back down, just like that. One thing to remember here is you want to keep that ankle right in line with the knee. The temptation will be to let it almost supinate out to the side and you roll up and down the outside of the foot. At that point, we're not working the calf as much as we're starting to get into the shin and the outside of the leg, and we don't want to do that. We're going to stay nice and straight like that. 10 on each side. Your final thing is going to be a nice high skip on one leg. I'm going to combine the first couple movements I did. So I'm going to find that little low squat, and now I'm going to push off into a jump straight overhead. Up just like this, and then you're going to do 10 on the other side. Those are the 4 movements. In the next clip, we will dive right into the workout. So I showed you what we're doing. We've got 10 reps at a time of everything. We're going through this for 4 rounds for quality. Remember, if you're not catching your balance and this is taking you a little longer than it's taking me to do it, pause that video, give yourself the time you need to do it, or just have me on in the background to kind of cue you the way through. Let's get started right here. We've got those single leg hops over the line. Again, you're gonna find that one on the ground. Here we go. Taking these first couple to kind of get a sense of where your balance is today. Good, we got 5 left. Using those arms as you need to, watching that knee. Good, we're gonna switch sides to the other. Last 5. Last one. Good, shaking those legs out. Now we're going to that squat. So pull it in, pull that core nice and tight, and breathe here. No more jumping, but we're just gonna do squats on that one side, trying to get a little lower each time. Nice big inhales here, guys. Last 5, I'm gonna show you from the side. Keeping that chest up a little bit more. Ooh, getting that balance. You can see I'm using my arms in opposition. That makes me feel a little bit more on top of my leg. Good, that's 10. We're going to the other side now. And bending. Again, one side's always probably going to feel a little easier than the other. Good. Anytime I start to fall off my balance, I'll just tot that other foot down and just kind of get a recheck here. Last 3, I'm going to show you guys getting those hips nice and far back. 9 and 10. Good. Now we're going to that calf raise. So I'm going to go back to my left side here. I am just going to do this off the wall, but again, if you need to hang on to something, by all means, go find that surface. And we're going up and down 10 times, working through that calf, just the back there. Last 2. Good, and switching sides, right into it. I also notice maybe a different range of motion in my ankle, one side versus the other. So maybe you can balance well on one side, but you have less range of motion. Those sometimes go hand in hand just based off of what kinds of shoes you wear, how much time you spend barefoot. And 10, good. Last thing on this first round is we've got that high skip. So I start here, little squat, push off. Using momentum through my arms, hips forward. Keep breathing, last 2. Good, I'm gonna bring my gaze up for that other side, try to help me a little bit out. 10 here. Last 5. Last 2. Whew. All right, round 1 is done. We're going into our next round. Catch that breath, grab water when you need to. We're going straight into it. Those hops over the line forward. Last 4. Good. Shake that left leg out. Great thing about single leg work, the other leg is always getting a rest. So remember that as you find a reason to keep going with me through this workout. Last 4. All right, back to those squats, starting to the side. Feel free to add a little speed here as you start to feel more comfortable. Other option here too is to just bring those arms out in front of you. Really whatever makes you feel most stable. Rechecking my balance here. Last 3. Breathing and pulling that belly button in tight to the spine. That is so much of what keeps you balanced. You would not believe as soon as you let that go, you could have the strongest legs in the world, but if you're not controlling yourself from the center, it all kind of falls apart. Last 3. Pressing that knee out to the side like you've got a wall up against it. Awesome, we're going to that calf raise now. Face you guys, up and down here. Again, use the arms as you need. As you start to feel more comfortable, play with where your gaze is. We always tend to look right down at the ground because we feel it's the most point of control we can find, or we feel like it won't move. But I find if I kind of find a spot a little bit out more towards the horizon and lift my chin, I'll put my body in a straighter position and then I'm not tilted forward, which is important. Nice ankle control here. Catching my breath on these last 2 because I know I got those high skips next. All right, and here we go. Last part of the second round. Using those hips to drive forward. Again, can I bring my gaze up? 9, 10, and other leg. I'll face this way out to the water here. Getting my opposition going with the arms. Last 2. Awesome. Okay, halfway through this workout, when you start to get tired, bring everything back for your form, slow it down. But a lot of times your balance might actually be a little more dialed in. So take a nice deep breath. And here we go, round 3. Guys, doing awesome. Last 4. Good, switching sides here. And we got 10, 9, last 3. Awesome. And now to that single leg squat. Facing the corner. Heart rate is just starting to stabilize now, so we're out of breath a little bit here, but now we have a better sense of what we're doing compared to those first few rounds. My knee is starting to drop in a little bit, so I'm gonna really make a good effort to press it out to the side and stand up nice and tall, always pushing my hips forward. Let's go that next 10 on the squat. I alternated jumping exercises versus not, so that you could kind of keep your breathing in check while continuing to move, because that's what it comes down to on that long run. How long can you last with good form? Last 2. All right, we got those calf raises. If you want to bring your hands to your hips to play with a little bit of different balancing there, I find this will let me get my gaze up a little further. Like I said, if I drop it down, I start to lean from the hips, which can throw me off. We also don't want to run that way. Dropping those shoulders as we start to get tense. Last 4. Good, and switching legs here. I'll face you guys. Like I said, if you're hanging onto the wall, no problem there. You just want a nice full range of motion. Getting those calves worked. When we get to that marathon shuffle of sorts, we kind of drop that and the lower leg isn't doing what it needs to be. Last thing on this one is going to be those high skips. Here we go. Getting my breathing back. Big hips forward. 6. Last 2. And another leg, I'll face out to the water again. Get a little motivation here. Straight up and down as much as you can. Finding that squat in between. Last 2. All right, round 4. This is the most important one right here, you guys. Big breaths. Do the best balancing you've done all day. If you usually started on the left foot, let's start on the right just to mix it up here. Last set of those hops right over the line. Trying to clear it each time. Hips forward, last 4. Nice job, guys. Last one. Here we go. Good, and switching legs. Landing with that whole foot on the ground each time, both forward and back. Last 2. All right, and now to those squats. Last set. We're gonna start on that right side again. I go down. This is where it really matters. How supported can you be through your belly button and spine so that when you fall apart on your run, what's gonna actually get you back running straight without an injury developing over poor form and lack of efficiency. 2 more. A little lower if you can. Good, and I'm gonna switch legs, challenge myself to look up a little bit more ahead. I'm someone who starts to look down the more I try to focus. I think a lot of us are that way. But the more you can work on those little weak spots on something like a drill like this, the more it'll show up in your running. Last 3. Kind of regaining my balance at the top, big hips forward. Good, last set of those calf raises. Here we go. If you were on the wall before, maybe try a couple off. Again, watching for that ankle. You can see mine kind of spills out to the side, but I'm trying to stay up and down, knowing this is the last set and I can push through anything. Last 4. Bringing that gaze up, maybe I go hands on the hips. Nice, good, last set on that. Bringing that breathing back. Again, this is focus, but it's also muscle endurance. How much can you force yourself to hang on to as the rounds go on. I know this isn't an easy workout, very repetitive. Last 3. Straight up and down with that ankle. All right, you guys, just down to those last high skips. Here we go, as high as you can go, using those arms to drive, trying not to let that back leg hit the ground, and keep that foot straight forward. 9, 10, I'm gonna turn for my last set here. Let's finish it out strong, you guys. Bringing that gaze up, using the squat in between, driving with those arms. And one more. Whew. All right, we did it. Catch your breath, just walk it out a little bit. In the final clip, we'll wrap up how that went for you. Thanks for joining me on that workout. Guys, this is a really important workout for many reasons, and it's one of the reasons that I actually did it with you, is to show you how tough it is to hang on to good positions. Sometimes for us, we just go out and we run every single day and we're like, why is my shin hurting suddenly? Or why does my calf suddenly have this big knot in it? And we never break it down further to understand why those things fall apart. This workout you saw, I was catching my balance start to finish just like you probably were, learning how to manage my breathing at the same time without the slog of the just right foot, left foot running, where you start to zone out and no longer pay attention. So thanks again, you guys, for going through that with me. That was awesome. Modify this the way you need to. If 4 rounds was too many, drop it down, drop a couple reps off, take longer breaks. This is your workout. If you guys are looking to enhance your training or to maybe take it a little bit more seriously than you have been, you should check out our 2-week quick start program. That's 2 free weeks of workouts, mobility, injury prevention exercises, all for you. Click the link down in the description to check that out and get started. If you liked this workout, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you have any comments or questions or modification requests to this workout, I'm happy to help you there, so drop that in the comments. And lastly, make sure you subscribe to that channel. We have brand new videos coming out here on The Run Experience every single week, not just workouts, but everything related to running, strength training, and injury prevention, and we want you to see them. Thanks again for working out with me. I will catch you guys in the next video.